When it comes to classic movie monsters, there's not really a lot of science to them. Like, you're not gonna find a peer-reviewed article about werewolves. But one horror movie icon actually existed in real life. Only they didn't have magic. It was all science. I'm about to tell you about mummies. Hi, I'm Miranda Cosgrove. Welcome to the STEM Loft, where the landlord said it wasn't haunted and was honestly really weird about it. Ancient Egypt, Legends of the Afterlife, Brendan Fraser. Our culture has associated the mummy with some fantastical Hollywood imagery, but the movies hardly give us the full picture. The science behind mummification is really quite astounding. Okay, what is a mummy? A mummy refers to a body that's been preserved after death. To mummify something generally means to take careful steps to protect it from decay. In the right conditions, this can sometimes happen naturally. But many cultures, most notably the ancient Egyptians, mummified those who had passed on as a religious practice. And don't worry, I know you were just about to ask me where the word mummy comes from. It's derived from the Persian word mumia, which means bitumen, a black tar-like substance. Early Arabs who saw these preserved bodies thought they were coated in bitumen because of their dark appearance. The most elaborate mummification process in ancient Egypt took 70 days and involved special priests called embalmers. These priests had to know not only the right rituals and prayers, but also a lot about how the human body works. The process started with cleansing the body with water sourced from the sacred Nile River, revered for its role in nourishing their crops. Next, they carefully removed organs from the abdomen and chest to prevent them from decaying. This included the brain, which they took out through the nostrils with a brain hook. In 2012, X-rays revealed a mummy with part of the brain removal tool still stuck in the skull. Can you imagine making a mistake at work and having people discover it over 2,000 years later? Embarrassing. The removed organs were then preserved separately in vessels called canopic jars and buried with the mummy. The only organ they left in the body was the heart, which was believed to be the center of a person's being and intelligence. Next, the embalmers removed all the moisture from the body using natron, a type of salt with strong drying properties. They covered the body with natron and placed packets of natron inside it. This portion of the process lasted about 40 days, and they had to replace the natron every couple weeks. Once the body was completely dry, they removed the packets and gently washed off the natron, resulting in a very dried out but recognizable human form. Then came the wrapping. This kept moisture away from the body so it wouldn't decompose. Each mummy needed hundreds of yards of linen, with priests wrapping the body carefully, sometimes even wrapping each finger and toe separately. They placed protective amulets among the wrappings and wrote prayers and magical words on some of the linen strips. At several stages, the form was coated with warm resin, and the wrapping resumed. To finish, they wrapped the body in a final cloth called a shroud and secured it with linen strips, completing the mummy. But ancient Egyptians didn't just mummify people. They also mummified a variety of animals. They even mummified food items to ensure the deceased had something to eat in the afterlife. This practice was known as creating victual mummies. These victual mummies included food like beef, duck, and bread, all carefully preserved to sustain the deceased in their journey beyond this life. Do you think they could make substitutions? Or did you have to go into the afterlife and have to scrape the mustard off your sandwich? When you think of mummies, you probably think of Egypt, right? But did you know mummification was practiced all over the world? From the dry deserts of Peru to the icy Alps of Europe, people have been preserving their dead for thousands of years, with the oldest preserved mummies found in the Atacama Desert of Chile. These Chinchorro mummies date back 7,000 years, 2 millennia before the first Egyptian mummies. So how do we know so much about mummies? Through fields like archaeology and bioarchaeology. Archaeology is the study of past human life through artifacts and material remains. Bioarchaeology goes more granular, with a focus on human remains in an archaeological context. I think I'd be a pretty great archaeologist. I love looking into other people's business and at their bones. A century ago, the only way to look inside a mummy was to unwrap it. Often, this destroyed the body. When the face covering of the mummy was torn off, the head was detached. Today, new technologies allow archaeologists and scientists to examine mummies in less invasive ways. We have CT scanners, which create 3D images of the mummy's interior. Then there's isotopic testing, which gives biologists a chemical analysis of bone, tissue, and hair. And of course, DNA analysis, which allows geneticists to explore family relationships, ancestry, and connections to modern populations by examining the mummy's genetic material. Can you imagine the emails flooding your inbox if your Aunt Donna discovers you're related to an actual mummy? Straight to spam. Hey, it's Miranda Cosgrove, your favorite host of Mission Unstoppable. I'm the only host. And if you want to watch awesome STEM videos and exclusive Mission Unstoppable clips, just make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell.